Hello, me hotties. A very, very good morning to you. It's just me, Scottie McCLUE. I thought I'll pop up and say a quick Saturday morning to every day. So time just coming up to 4 minutes to 9 on Saturday morning, sometime since I've seen every day. So lovely to be back with you. Morning, Scottie. Morning, Peter Murphy. Lovely to have you with you. Morning, Doogie. And what have you had for breakfast? Breakfast was outstanding this morning. We had cheese on toast. So there you are. Isn't that lovely? Cheese on toast for breakfast. This Scots sounds so Irish. Why? I think, Darren, because we all sound Irish to a greater or lesser extent, because we're all from Ireland to a greater or lesser extent. You see what I mean? From the African Rift Valley originally. There we are. Lots and lots of you joining us. Welcome, welcome. Follow me as soon as you come on. We need lots and lots of followers. And I believe everybody with an internet connection should be following Scottie McCLUE. Thank you. That explains it. No problem at all. I love cheese and toast. Me too. There's the lovely Vanessa sending me gifts. Vanessa, thank you so much for your beautiful red rose. Very, very kind of you. And follow us as soon as you can. Good morning, says Clue Silver. Clue Silver, a very good morning to you. Lovely to have you with us. And dinky do. Let's just see whatever it is up to across the board here. We'll get the chat on the go and see what is what. Keeping your fingers crossed for Sheffield United, Scottie, says Tom Levick. Tom Dinky do, that's what we shall do. Fantastic. Morning, lovely Scottie. Morning, my dear, dear friend Diane Marchand. How lovely to have you with us. Dinky do, Scottie. Good morning to you, dear. Good for us. Good morning to you, my dear. How lovely to have you with us. Good morning, Bud. You okay? Morning, Captain, says Bilsa. Morning, Scottie, says Bobby. Morning, Bobby. Good that you could come and join us. It's always such a privilege to have so many wonderful people come and be part of the big picture. People who are genuinely interested in the world. Scottie, what's your predictions on the Chelsea-Liverpool game in the FA Cup? Well, you see, I could give you the score, but if I do that, then, the football companies are going to be upset. The television companies are going to be upset. So, you need to look away now and not listen. Dinky do, Scottie. What's your position on the Queen's speech saying the government will make electric scooters legal on roads via a transport bill? Well, I think that that could make the roads even more dangerous. So there you are, electric scooters. Very dangerous, although it'll get them off the pavement. So there you have it. But they'll need to have all their skid lids and their knee pads and the various things that go with it. So, it might make for quite a big business. Everything's a business, you know what I mean? In your bothy, do you have any shortbread? We've always got a wee bit shortbread for emergencies. There we are. Good morning, Scottie. You have a different background without your smiling faces. Ah, yes, good for us, fam. I'm in another part of McCLUE Towers this morning. We got flung out the study. It's being tidied. Scottie, I spoke to you on the radio, Lolo. Dinky do. Stuart, you did indeed. And lovely to know that you are still with us. We may be going back on the radio again very soon. Morning from Karim. Morning to Karim, says the wonderful Gary Reid. Good morning, Scottie. I hope one is well. Karim, good morning to you. And did you get your fabulous call the other day about the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland? Good morning, sir. Danny, good morning. Lovely to have you with us. Guys, can everybody follow? There we are. Now, I Am Steel has just joined us, and as always is extremely generous, and has sent me a wishing bottles times 35. I Am Steel. You are so very, very kind to Scottie McCLUE, and we thank you for that. I Am Steel is a major player in the United States of America. You see, and I noticed that a huge percentage of my audience are in America. So I'm beginning to wonder if America is the next step. I mean, television and radio has gone extremely stale in the UK, very poor. And because obviously the government don't want any kind of form of, what was it called, satire or comedy or anything like that. Because you're going to offend somebody. Oh, well, I mean, why watch? It's always amused me. People used to write into the radio station and say, I'd like to complain about something Scottie McCLUE said the other night. And you think, well, why are you listening? If you want to complain, why not just switch him off? Dude, gone. End of Scottie McCLUE for you. No complaint required. Thank you. Scottie, get your numbers up. Gary, absolutely. Hope you're well. Looking forward to a call tonight. Indeed. Yes, indeed, Gary. Good morning, Scottie. I've just fed my wee Lily cat. Meow, meow. Cheese on love it. David and John, how lovely to have you with us this morning. And a big dinky do to you, I say. Good morning from East Lothian. Kareem has sent me gifts. TikToks. Kareem, you're so kind. Thank you. I am still. You know that you are now a #1 viewer. Oh, good morning from East Lothian. Do you know, David, I am right with you in East Lothian right now. I would be out for a walk, out in the countryside this morning, up to the Saltoons. Do you know the Saltoons? Morning, Scottie from Birmingham. We love you in Birmingham, Bradley. Hey, good to have you with us. Thanks. From Birmingham. I had chicken surprise for breakfast. 2 boiled eggs. Bobby and Bearsden, good morning. Lovely to have you with us. Good morning, Captain, from a sunny Norwich. And Dinky Doo, we love Norwich. Dinky Doo, Norwich Cathedral. Do you watch Have I Got News for You? I do. I like the modern ones, but there's a couple of hosts I don't care for. But when they're on, one's a woman. But when they're not on, it's very, very good. You know, absolutely. I was surprised they never had Scottie McCLUE on it as a panelist. That's always amazed me, because I think I would be quite good for them. So there we are. So if anybody's watching at Hat Trick, you get on the blower to McCLUE and I'll pop in and do a show with you. And with the wonderful Ian and Paul. There we are. Hello, Scottie. Can you simplify what's happening with the DUP? Well, I can. I think the DUP are getting very anxious because they used to be the party of power. Now Sinn Féin has got the power, and the DUP are very anxious that they're not getting the backing from Westminster over this protocol. So I can simplify it. The DUP, I suspect, are living in the past. You know, and I think everybody in Ireland needs to stop that, because there's an element in the UK wants to cut Ireland adrift in total. There's an element in the UK thinks that Ireland should unite. There's an element in the UK thinks that Northern Ireland, the 6 counties, should go back in with the rest of Ireland. But there's an element in Dublin that doesn't want to pick up the bill for the North. You see, there's a lot to be discussed. There we are. Morning, Kareem. My new name is Scotland Radio, and my lunch night is tonight. So Martin's having lunch at night. Well done, Martin. I might have supper at 11 o'clock this morning, just to be upsides with you. I've got a lazy eye, says Giving It Big Leaks. Don't worry about that. Is that not called astigmasis, can't remember the name, astigmatitis, something like that, a lazy eye. When I was in school, if one of my fellow pupils had a lazy eye, then they used to use a plaster on a pair of glasses. So you had one lens of your glasses was blanked out with the plaster. There we are. Mini speakers from Kareem. GG's from Kareem. TikToks from Kareem. Roses from Kareem. Chocolate chip cookies from Kareem. A radio from Kareem. Kareem, you're very, 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 very generous. If all of you keep on giving at this rate, McCLUE will be able to retire eventually at 96. Thank you so much. It's so lovely of you. Thank you for my wishing bottles as well. Lots of elements. There's lots of elements in the Northern Irish thing, but they need to chuck living in the past. It might be an idea to stop this commemoration of the Battle of the Boyne, because we're getting now a picture of nothing like it. It was just a skirmish where most of them ran away. And King Billy was a very, very bad man, so I wouldn't be beating any drums in his name. I can tell you that. So that might be a nice step if, we met up with the Orange people and said, by all means, keep the faith with the crown and the Bible, but, don't do any hatred, any dislike of anyone else. Let's have it friendly. There might be an idea to invite the other side to march with you. So you have the orange people and the green people marching together and commemorating, but not celebrating. There we are. So what have we got here? Kareem, I'm going to get my new radio station to accompany, so it plays 24/7. Good one, Martin. Excellent stuff. Good for you. We need more radio in Scotland. Martin, that's excellent news. I meant launch tonight, Scottie. Sorry, Martin. I thought you were going to celebrate with lunch tonight. I've got you now for Scottie. So that's fantastic. Have a drink. Yes, indeed, Gary. Not too much drink for you. It's not good for you. Because we want a call from you tonight. And we don't know you're slurring words. Scottie is the only one who's been successful in talking. Do you know, John Macer, you're actually 100% correct. The only talk station that really has wiped the floor was Scott FM, And that's the way, because most people setting up talk radio or talk television or whatever you want to call it do not understand the concept of talk broadcasting. You don't just sit up and shout and bawl. Go, what we're talking about today? And most of these things are London orientated. So nobody outside London gives two. I watched one last week I might have made it to 3 minutes, but that was kind of it. Now, that's not good. People used to put on Scottie McCLUE, or still do. Stay with us for an hour, 2 hours, whatever we do. I went to see Barry Humphries, the man behind the mask, 86 years old. What a fantastic actor. He played Fagin and Oliver as well as his alter egos, Edna and Les. I love Barry Humphries. I love his alter egos. Sir Les Patterson is an absolute scream. And I love Dame Edna. Dear possums. Fantastic. So there we are. So, you're quite right, John. Thank you. Although I say it myself, Scottie has been the only one who's actually been successful in the genre of talk broadcasting, and still is. It's amazing. Radio stations are begging for calls. Nobody phones them. I've worked for radio stations where the phones went all day, every day. The jocks were chatting to people, so a wee old lady up a high-rise having a good old chat with her friend on the wireless. I'll have to go. Love, my song's finishing. You take care. All that sort of thing. We did all that. And then the big phone-ins at night right across the north of England. And when Scottie McCLUE was around, central Scotland. There we are. Dinky-doo. Scottie, turn your phone up and I'll call you, my friend. Yes, well, why don't we do that? We'll put the phones on. Shall we put on the phones, guys? Would you like that? There we have it. We'll have the phone in tonight at 9 o'clock sharp, of course. But we could put on the phones right now. Right, there it's coming up in front of you. It won't be on TikTok, but it's on everything else. From Northern Ireland, take you to Sandra. How lovely to have you with us from Northern Ireland. Surely England getting full independence will solve all these problems. Do you know, I think it will, Bobby. And I think if Scotland or Wales get on with their indie refs and explain properly about the monarchy, then they'll do very well. Because economically, Westminster's been sucking the life out of Scotland for 314 years. And people don't realise that. They go, hey, you'll not manage on your own. You say, no, you'll struggle without us. Aha. Talk about experience. Living in the past. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Giving it big licks. You're living in the past. There's two sides. God forgive you, Sandra. There's more than two sides, dear, so God forgive you. That's what I say. Take responsibility. Don't be pointing the finger at anyone else. Say, no, 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 no. I have to take responsibility for this. So you, Sandra, take responsibility, I say. Fantastic stuff. There we go. Now then, who have we got? Rangers. Do you live in Ireland, says Sandra. I know every single blade of grass in Ireland, Sandra. So what about that for you? God forgive you. There we are. You're talking to Scottie McCLUE. Bring back Leith FM, Scott FM. I Am Still has sent me 10 beautiful mics. Is McCLUE Pies selling square sausage? No, we do the McCLUE's pie and the vegetarian lettuce slice in a rich chicken sauce. Lovely, lovely stuff. Political affiliations, we don't have any of them at all. We are very open-minded, very, very big thinking, and we don't go in for any of these affiliations. So there you have it, giving it big licks. Do you not think we're all living in the past in some way or another, good and bad? Well, John Watson, yes. I mean, people are mentioning radio stations that I was on from 30 years ago. So there's an element of that. But, I mean, let's face it, there's living in the past, and then there's coming out every year for something that's, 400 years old, 300 and odd years old. You see? That's living in the past. Although, we sometimes have commemorative battles and people in ancient costume. Maybe we should reenact the Battle of the Boyne and have everybody run away. They all wore green as well. There was no orange there. And King Billy, of course, was a baddie. We know that. We all know that. So there we are. So yes, we have to live in the past because the present is not good. And we don't know about the future, the way the present's going. Why would the UK struggle without Scotland? Because they wouldn't have Scotland's money, Jake. There would be £75 billion a year down the Swanee, plus they wouldn't have any food, because with Brexit has put us on the verge of starvation. You look at your food costs since Brexit. Whoo! There you have it there, Jake. Good morning, Scottie. Good morning, Phil. Lovely to have you with us. Michelle says good morning, Michelle. How lovely that you're able to join us. And what, we would record your show at Scott FM and share the tapes. Bobby, do you know that schools, the technicians used to multi-copy, leave a plastic bucket with all the tapes in it? The teachers would pick them up, take them home and listen, because they couldn't hear it at 1 in the morning because they were sound asleep, because they were up at 5 in the morning. And then they would return the tapes for recycling. Isn't that beautiful? Scottie McCLUE, how do you do? Anthony Sinclair, I do extremely well. It's lovely to have you with us, and dinky do. Thank you for your support. Has everybody followed us this morning? There's the wonderful Michelle has followed Scottie McCLUE. Guys, we need thousands upon thousands of you following. You should never watch Scottie McCLUE for even a second without making sure you've followed the host. Top left, I think it is, plus sign. Good morning, Scottie. You're looking as radiant as ever, my dear boy. George, you're so very, very kind, my dear boy. Morning, Scottie. Morning, Richie. Lovely that you couldn't make it. And dinky do. Shall we open the phones? And somebody could give us a call. That would be rather fun, wouldn't it? There you are. Right, I've opened up the phones, guys. Good morning, young man. Les, good morning. There's the wonderful Phil Johnson has sent me a TikTok football. Thank you, Phil. What do you think of James Whale? He is on TV. Yeah, I filled in for James in the past, you know. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that? Hello?
Hello, Scottie.
Hello, who's that? Hello, can you hear me?
Scottie.
Yes. Hello. There we are. Who's that? Couldn't hear him. Excellent stuff. Give us a call and we will see what is what. I tell you. Very, very important. We just couldn't hear you there. We had this the other night. Hello, you're live on Scotty's phone in. Who is that?
Hello, Scottie.
Hello, Martin. Are you dinky do?
Scottie, it's Martin.
It's Martin. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me, Scottie?
We can hear you, Martin. Good morning, dinky do.
Dinky to goose, mate. Basically, my own new radio station's called Scotland Radio, and that
What's it called? Scotland?
Scotland Radio.
Scotland Radio. You're very faint, Martin.
Oh, I am in the tunnel. I am in the bedroom.
You're in the bedroom, a tunnel in the bedroom.
So how did everybody find it?
Martin, I can't hear a thing you're saying, la. I don't know what's going on, so there we are. Can't hear a thing Martin's saying. Very, very strange. But we should be all right. Martin, I hope your radio show's got a better signal than your phone. Absolutely. Scottie, I've got news for you. Giving it big licks. What have you got? It's Martin La. In 2017, the monarchy contributed 1.8 billion to the UK economy. The monarchy is brilliant. These half-wits that don't want it need to get their act together. You're live on Scottish phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie, man. It's Martin.
Oh, that's a lot better.
I know, aye. The thing I was saying was my new name's Scotland Radio. That's my new name on TikTok.
Right. That sounds brilliant.
My own plan was to try and put it to a company and see what happens.
Yes, good, Martin. Well, get it up and running fast because setting up a company has got expenses.
No, it's not, but I need to look into it and see how I go about doing it.
Yes, you need to take your time. Don't rush in.
I know, because the longest I was on TikTok last night was three and a half hours last night.
Oh, that's a good long time. That's almost like commercial radio shows of 4 hours.
Yes, I know.
That's very good, Martin.
So, how's your week? Good?
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I didn't get enough lives in. But we've managed to make a lot of videos on YouTube. Everybody's loving YouTube. You know, and they're getting it. I don't know if you can see it there, but on my TikTok bio, you've got the link to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
You know, and it's fantastic.
So, how do you set up that phone lines that you did? Because I know you do through Skype. So
yes. Well, you just go on and you type in how to set up a phone line, and then the details will come up.
Okay.
You know, so you should get all that. There is a cost involved.
Is it?
Yeah, but you'll get all the details for that. I don't know what the latest rates.
Yes.
And I think you'll thoroughly enjoy yourself.
Yes, I will.
Wonderful. And you're at a good age. What age are you now?
38.
Oh, that's perfect. I was 36 when I set up my first phone in.
Wow, nice.
So you're absolutely at the perfect age.
Yes, I know.
And there's a guy does very well on YouTube.
I've been doing the GG for about 3 months now, and it's only ticking off.
Yes. Oh, it'll take off, Martin. Fantastic. Listen, I'm going to dash off, but you take care and have a lovely day.
And you too, Scottie. Love you.
All the best. Love you lots, Lala. Speak soon. That's our Martin. Fantastic stuff. There we are. We like that. A wee phone call in the morning. The number's in front of you there. So that's that. That was better. This is Martin from Seville. Oh, where the oranges come from. The Book of Time. Good morning. We'll check out your YouTube videos. Phil Johnson, do. Because there's never a dull moment. There's 3,000 videos on Scottie McCLUE's YouTube channel. And it's the world's best kept secret. I think there's only about 3,250 subscribers so far. So get subscribing. Just click subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. I don't understand why everybody doesn't just automatically subscribe. YouTube is a better signal. Yes, indeed. A ripe age. Good morning, Scottie. Have you got your badges for sale yet, my friend? No, we haven't the Saltire. But did you see I did some nice Scotland TikTok videos? Get on to them. They are just amazing. And you will love it. Fantastic. Now, who have we got? Scottie, could you please pay the deposit? Well, on the badges, there's no deposit on the badge, so you don't have to worry about that. Do not panic, I say to you. Now, where is my tea? Honestly, we've been so rushed this morning, we haven't had time for tea. Oh. Guys, that's absolutely lush. It's so beautiful. So there we have it. Now, lots and lots of reaction from you. Let's see what you're saying on here. I will call you, says Gary. Do, Gary, call us now. Martin, keep us informed of your adventure. Absolutely. Who's this? Hello, you're live at Scottie's Phone In. Who's that?
Scottie!
Gary Lala, how are you?
Guess who it is?
Gary.
Yes, it's me. Oh my God.
This is fabulous. How funny were you last week?
I'm just having a cup of some tea.
A wee cup of tea. I've just had a wee sip of tea. Did you spot me?
How you doing, Scott, anyway?
Well, fantastic. No, listen, Gary, this is great. And I'm so glad you phoned because now you've got the hang of it all. Do you know what I mean?
Come on, but I didn't know phone the listeners, you know.
I know. Well, the listeners were having a good laugh, but you were getting a wee bit slurry by call number 4.
Okay, I know. Remember last week, Scott, I was talking to you, I think I had a couple of beers, you know.
Yeah, had a light refreshment. So what? I mean, not a problem. You were fabulous.
I know. You know me. I have a lot heavier. Talk a lot heavier.
I'll talk a lot of blather, but then lots of us do.
How you doing, my friend? Anyway?
Brilliant. I've got you loads and loads of new videos for your YouTube channel and for TikTok.
Oh, Scottie, guess what? I said to my pals on Facebook, so they're going to like and subscribe.
Oh, brilliant. That, Gary, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that.
Thank me.
No, I do. You're fabulous.
Okay. So, where do you come, East Kilbride?
East Kilbride, you can't beat it. I know it well.
Scottie, I'll buy a cup of coffee.
Oh, you're a lovely man. You're a lovely man. Gary, you take great care of yourself. And as we say in the best of circles, dinky do.
I'll let you go, Scottie. I know you're busy, man.
Give us a wee call tonight. Top man. There's our Gary. Well, that's brilliant. There we are. Fantastic. Scottie, do I set up a phone like yours, buddy? You'll get all the details, Martin. You just look it up. I'm over here now. Adrian Dinky Doo has joined us. How lovely to have you with us, and a very, very warm welcome. That is brilliant. What tea does Scottie McCLUE drinks is giving it big licks? We're at the Earl Grey Big Licks. We like a wee cup of the Earl Grey. Fantastic stuff. Is your tea made from Scottish water? Here we have it here, look. One of the top ingredients. Oh, that's lush. That's absolutely lush. Fantastic. You've got to try Earl Grey. Yes, do. I think it's called after Earl Grey. You've got Grey Street in Newcastle. And there's a big statue of Earl Grey. And I think he might have been the tea man. We need to find out who knows their history from Newcastle, like. Everybody speaking like an Indian. You can't beat traditional English breakfast tea. Well, Danny, I would believe that, but what about Scottish traditional breakfast tea? That might just have the edge, you see. And I don't know if the tea actually comes, if it's grown in England or if it's grown in India or Africa. You see? So there we are. There might be a bit of that. I've got a few questions to ask you, buddy. No problem, Martin. Scottie, I'm trying to call you, no answer. We've got you there. I'm on YouTube now, subscribed, and the badge is the correct way around on here. Phil, yes, it used to be the same on TikTok. I need to find out how to do it. TikTok used to just tap it, and it said mirror your video, and there it was. Perfect. But I'll need to look this up. If anybody knows how you do that on TikTok nowadays, because the facility seems to have changed. And I don't want to start mucking about with the camera when we're actually live, if you see what I mean. There's the wonderful Brian. Hi, Sir Scottie. How are you, sir? I'm still in hospital, sir, at the moment. Always great to hear you, Brian. Always a privilege to hear you. And I hope you got the message the other day. I sent you a wee massage. And the massage said, I send you strength and well-being. We want you well, Brian. There we are. Prefer Yorkshire tea. There's nice flavours, strawberry jam and biscuit. Oh, Yorkshire tea. See, I've lived in Yorkshire for years. And I absolutely love the place. Every second of it is filled with joy. Even when Yorkshire people are miserable, and some of them quite enjoy that, they're filled with joy. And I think I'm the only human being on God's earth who is an honorary Yorkshireman. People used to say, he's like making out he's Scotch, like, he's a Yorkshireman. Yeah, you know it, you can hear him. Take a look at him. Hey, Scottie, why do you make out you're Scottish? You're Yorkshire, like, aren't you? You're one of us. I know. Yeah, that's it. So, why you can't argue with these people. Scottie, I think I have tennis elbow. Oh, Kareem. Absolutely. There we are. That reminds me of a joke, but I can't tell it live on a Saturday morning. There we are. It was quite fun. There we go. Yes, Kareem, do be careful. I'm wondering if a byproduct of your COVID might have been a stiffness in the joints, Kareem. Are they delicate when you wake up in the morning and think, oh, my elbow? All that stuff. There we are. The Yorkshire tea, Phil, yes, we love that one. Fantastic. Kareem's saying dinky do to Martin. Guys, I've got 4,100 likes. How beautiful are you guys? Outstanding. A lovely, lovely thing to do. 4,000 likes. Play the squash boxes, Gary. Gary, it's not a squash box, it's a squeeze box. But you do sort of squash it in and out a bit. I don't have it with me at the moment. I'm in another part of McCLUE Towers. I got flung out of the studio because it needs cleaned. There you are. So there you have it. Mrs. McCLUE was saying this place is mucket. There we are. Knees, elbows, and back sore in the morning. Lol, I'm getting on. Kareem, you're a very young man. Are you not just 30 odd? There we have it. Now then, Scottie, I'm wondering, tell me, Kareem, did this come on after the COVID thing? It's quite interesting that, yes, just suddenly come on you. And the knees and the elbows and the back, the joints, you're creaking a wee bit. We need to get you taking... Do you take the olive oil, Kareem? Yes, get into these fish oils and things like that. We want to see more of Mrs. McCLUE. Oh, trust me, Danny. You don't. Anyway, she's cleaning the studio at McCLUE's Towers, so just watch in case there's a rogue speaker left on or something. We don't want her going to hurt everyone. Yes, I am 40. Oh, you're 40, Kareem. I had you in your 30s. So there you have it. Scottie, thank you for talking to me there. You take care, my friend Brian. It was lovely talking to you. You take care, my friend, and get strong and well. Guys, can I thank you for all your lovely, lovely TikTok gifts? You're so very generous to McCLUE. Can I also thank the beautiful YouTubers who have sent me things like a $5 and a $10. One sent 25. And another one sent 70. I won't say who that is because it will embarrass him. And that helped us to set up all the equipment for the phone-in. He bet me, he said, well, it wasn't so much a bet, it was more of a wager, really, I think you'd call it. He said, well, you get on and set up a phone-in, and I'll give you some money towards your equipment. I'm giving it away, I'm using his accent. How old am I, says Streaky Bacon. Streaky Bacon, I think you are definitely in your 40s. You're live on Scottie McCLUE's phone-in. Who's that?
Dinky do, it's Kareem Scottie.
Kareem, how lovely to hear you. Dinky do, and a very good morning.
Good morning. I won't stay too long, Scottie, but I just thought I'd put on earlier on a bit of information about the monarchy.
Yes, you did. And you said they brought in 1.8 billion.
And that was in 2017. And that was just a very simple, quick Google search.
And that's a very, very tiny amount of what they actually bring in, because it's very difficult to measure kudos. And every country would love to have a monarchy. You watch any of the old Commonwealth countries that have given up the Queen, and they deeply, deeply regret it because it puts them in a mess. And you see, over the years, pardon me, but there's been a great movement. We want the British out. We want them out of Africa. We want them out of Ireland. We want them out of Australia, of Canada. We want the British out. And then they think, hang on a minute. We had proper prestige. We were a somebody. You know, and they deeply, deeply regret it. But there's even something slightly more sinister. In the likes of India and Africa, the Soviets wanted in.
Yes.
Do you see? Because a lot of it is to do with how rich. People say, oh, poor Africa, it's such a poor country, such a poor continent. It's one of the richest continents on the planet.
Yeah.
You see?
Sadly, it's the people that don't get to see it there.
Yeah, they don't get the message, so they're going, yeah. And also, very often, imperial powers are happy to give up territory because it's costing them a fortune.
Right. Okay.
You know, you look at Afghanistan. Now, the Americans were in Afghanistan. The British were in Afghanistan. British have been around Afghanistan for maybe 300 years. And before that, in the 1980s, who was in Afghanistan? Russia. And why did they leave? Because they were getting absolutely thrashed, and it was costing a fortune. You see? So policing the world is an expensive business. Kareem, it's the old story. A castle. If you had a castle worth £10 million, let's say, that's an asset on your books. If I gave you that castle right now, said, Kareem, this is a present for you. I thought you'd like to have your own castle in Scotland. You would be over the moon for about 5 seconds. Then when you were to look round it, you'd say, I can't live in this place. I can't afford this kind of money. I can't pay for lakes and lochs and hills and thousands of acres, and I can't afford to farm this, you know. And within seconds, you'd be saying, Henry, wanting this? Get this away from me, right? I mean, can you imagine nowadays, even the power bills, all the sodium lights round the borders? You know, all the lights inside, all the searchlights, the spotlights to make it a tourist attraction.
Yes, expensive.
Oh, I mean, Kareem, I always tell the story. When people come on, they ask cheeky questions like they say, are you a Freemason? And I explain to them there's no such thing as a Freemason. If you wanted to hire a Mason, an operative Mason, it's going to cost you because these are terrific specialists working in stone. And, you know, a friend of mine told me they just wanted a few repointed ashlars, £50,000.
Wow.
To repoint the stonework. And that's you not had a meal in the place.
A lot Absolutely.
And that was about 20 years ago.
Just imagine what it'll be now.
You know? And there we are. Up the Queen, says Smokey. They're all going up the Queen. Smokey goes, slaves trade cash. See, here's... Sorry, Kareem. Jamaica. Yes, they think that they're going to move on and move forward, but they'll just be looking for finance from somebody else. It's the same with all these things, you know, and this is why I'm saying they need to be very careful with Northern Ireland these days, because there is a movement that says, why are we paying for Northern Ireland? You know? It's all that.
It's interesting to see, and I know you've got a caller from Northern Ireland, but it'd be interesting to see, and if he knows this, how much money does the UK government actually put into Northern Ireland?
It wouldn't be too difficult to find that out. You know, there'll be some block grant, but it will be substantial. Because, you know, I mean, Britain virtually rebuilt the economy of Northern Ireland again in the 50s, 60s, 70s. It was very, very poor. But when you look at the economy of Ireland going back to long before the famine, the poverty was dreadful down in the south, you know? And that's long before the famine, which was a potato blight, and they didn't manage to get the communications out. Had they planted different varieties of potato, that blight would have gone.
Right, okay.
You know?
Well, every country part of the UK will definitely contribute something to Westminster.
Oh, huge. Well, Scotland contributes 75 billion.
Yeah. But in terms of like trade or something like, you know, that we have oil and tourism and natural resources, Wales that was like wool or...
Well, Wales used to be very, very big on coal.
Right.
Because as I think we've discussed before, Scotland, up until the Treaty of Versailles, controlled 75% of the world's coal. Now, with an industrial revolution going for 150 years, and the main component of keeping that going was coal to make steam.
Right.
Yes, and also coal to smelt the steel and the iron and the aluminium.
Right, okay.
So you've got coal, everything to keep the furnaces going. So you think of all the engineering in Sheffield. Sheffield, the snow would almost never lie. It always told the truth, but it would never lie because of the heat from the furnaces in the steelworks.
Right.
And even when I lived in Sheffield twice, when I would come home at 2 o'clock in the morning and walk Lord Reith, I would hear thump, 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 coming from a steel mill.
Right.
Into the quiet of the night. I was semi-rural, and I would hear this going on into the quiet of the night.
Right, okay.
You know?
Wow.
And the furnaces never stopped. And central Scotland was like that, because companies like, they're now, I think they've been swallowed up, but a big builder of ships for the Navy, of warships, war machines, let's not kid ourselves, was Yarrows. Now, Yarrows moved up to Scotland, I think in something like 1906. Pardon me. They were based in the Thames.
Right.
They were based in the Thames, and they suddenly discovered Scotland had a beautiful, wide, deep river. It had huge river banks where you could build shipyards. Only within railway journeys, it had steel mills and iron works and coal mines. And I think Yarrows were rubbing their hands and saying, this is just amazing. So the Yarrows moved up to Scotland. They were a super family, and they lived in that castle out at Mugdock. So not Mugdock Castle, the other one, Craigend Castle. And I think to this day, if you look for a bench, it's in loving memory of the Yarrows who sat out in their garden.
Right, okay.
And old Harold Edgar Yarrow was the chairman of the Clydesdale Bank.
Right, okay.
You know,
Wow.
and Eric, his son, ran Yarrow's, the shipbuilders. They were great people, Eric and Anne. So that was the Yarrows, and you know, they just found abundance in Scotland, as so many people did.
Yeah.
And Kareem, what you and I could do right now today on a Saturday morning, I could say, Kareem, I'll meet you at Glasgow Central Station, and we'll go down to Gourock on the train, which will take us about, I don't know, 40 minutes or something if it's a fast one. And you know, we'll then get on one of the many steamships or diesel vessels lined up at the pier to take us round the west coast. And I'll say, Kareem, where would you like to go? And you say, well, I've always fancied Campbelltown in Kintyre. And I said, right, follow me. Here is the Duchess of Hamilton sitting, steaming away at the pier. And she's going to take us on a tour to Campbelltown and back. Now, we'll not be back till about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock this evening, Kareem. Are you all right for that? Oh, I'm up for that, Scottie. And then we'll get off at Gourock and get a train to Glasgow Central. You see?
Yeah.
And it would have been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and everything connected with everything else, a proper integrated transport. So you might decide that you wanted to teach in a school in Glasgow, but you wanted to live somewhere like Kilcreggan.
Right.
And you think, ooh, Kilcreggan's a bit far from Glasgow. It's going to take me a good couple of hours to drive away up that road. I'll need to be away at 6 a.m. And in actual fact, you think, no, Kareem. Walk down to Kilcreggan Pier, get on the boat. 20 minutes later, get on the train at Gourock, and you'll be in Glasgow Central in 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yes.
And you think, are you enjoying Kilcreggan, Kareem? You say, I'm loving it, Scottie. I look out at the sea every morning, and I go for a walk in the fresh air. I go for a run, and within an hour, I'm in my school.
Yes. I think they used to do that when I worked down at Inverclyde, and they had people like students that would come from Dunoon.
Yes.
They would get the boat over and just get the train down.
Yes, fantastic. Or just walk it to the school or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I thought I would put that wee fact because obviously we had the wee debate at the start of the week.
No, Kareem, that's absolutely brilliant. The royal family are an absolute bargain, and we need to ensure that everybody loves the monarchy because that's 50% of the vote for independence. Yeah,
absolutely. But I want to, just before I go, Scottie, however we think about some things that I've seen in your videos, and I'll call tonight later on, but just to wish everybody in Glasgow City Centre, there's a big Independence Walk, and just to wish them the best of luck on that, to get their message out there loud and clear.
Absolutely. And Kareem, did you get the phone call that you and I did the other night about the General Assembly?
I've seen it, yes. I've seen it on, I think it was YouTube or TikTok.
I think that's an absolute belter. Oh, and news for you, YouTube started to take off.
Excellent, yes, and may it continue.
Yeah, so I think we're on the move, Kareem.
Good stuff, Scottie. Well, listen, have a great day. I'll give you a wee call tonight, 9 o'clock when you start.
9 o'clock sharp, and we'll be here.
Perfect. Listen, have a great day. Thank you, dude.
Bless you, Kareem. Dinky do. There we are. What a top man. There we are. That's our Kareem, guys. An amazing call. Now, who have we got here? Yes, slave trade cash made the British Empire. Streaky Bacon is 73 this year. Get along with you, Streaky Bacon. So there we are. So slave trade cash did make the British Empire. You're 100% correct. Well, some of it. But there is another side to slavery. Yes. The original slave trade was set up by black Africans because they wanted to trade their own people as slaves. So that's where it started. And then the white British people got wind of this trade. and thought, hang on, we can get labour for all our plantations. Because at that point, remember, Scotland controlled America and all the tobacco industry. Glasgow controlled that, and you needed slaves to pick the tobacco. Now, the other thing is the word slave is not an African word. It comes from Slav, as in Yugoslavia, things like that, Slavs. So the Slavs were your original slaves. And we've still got slaves. And the other side, you must remember, a lot of the thinking behind the emancipation of the slaves in 1801, was it? Once you had the thinking behind that was the slaves were beginning to cost the plantation owners. And they were getting a bit dischuffed at that. Also, the poor slaves, because remember, a lot of them actually treated their staff very well, the switched on ones, because they knew that they needed them as assets. So the other thing I could tell you about slavery, when they cut the slaves loose, these poor souls, a lot of them just died because they had no income and no source of food. So it was a kind of lose-lose situation for them. So there you have it. There's a bit of proper information that you won't hear on your mainstream media. Just chilling on the rigs in the North Sea. Scottish Kev, how lovely to have you with us, chilling on the rigs in the North Sea. So there we have it. So Streaky Bacon is 73 this year. I can't send YouTube money. I can send you gifts on TikTok. Phil Johnson, no, you don't have to worry. You never need to send anything. But the YouTube money, apparently you tap the dollar bill at the bottom left. But I don't know how you actually make the payment. There's also paypal.me/Scottie McCLUE if anybody's feeling flush, because it all helps. I'm wanting to get some advertising on the go, guys. And I can't do it all myself. Giuseppe Bachetti says, dinky do, Giuseppe, si, bella, bellissimo. I smelt coal once and burned my nose. Don't be silly, Streaky Bacon. Lol, Streaky. There we are, just having a biscuit-flavoured tea, enjoying the live show. Phil Johnson, you are such a top man, and thank you for even thinking about sending something on YouTube or TikTok. There will always be slavery. Well, it's like the poor. The poor will always be with us, because that's the way the rich have designed the system, to take from you and not to give. Right? So there you have it. So it's actually based on greed. There you have it. Are you marching for independence in Glasgow? We're always marching for independence. Morning from the Black Country. Lovely to have you with us from the Black Country. Fantastic, Roy. Where are you from? Are you from, I'm trying to think, Walsall? Yeah? Or are you from Wolverhampton? Yeah, fantastic. Good morning, all. Good morning, Ivor. Lovely to have you with us. And a big dinky-do from Scottie McCLUE. Guys, I've just noticed the time. We've only got another few minutes. I'll take that as a no. Indy Ref, what do you mean you'll take that as a no? We're all always marching for Scotland, so take it as a yes. There we are. Hello, Scottie. Good morning. I'll be there to add to the numbers, says Indy Ref. Good one, Indy Ref 2. Fantastic. That's what it's all about. But it shouldn't be a problem. And remember, the time for independence is always right. So if you get somebody from Westminster, well, you see, the time's not right for independence. It's divisive. It's not divisive. Independence will bring Scotland together. We just need to ensure the future of the monarchy and the monarch as head of state. And there's a lot of half-witted idiots need to educate themselves on that fact. Hello, Scottie. Good morning. Good morning, Scouse Caesar. Scouse Caesar, we love the bones of you. Can you speak any other languages fluently? Gucci. Kamraha umaha hakama farchi ki de mele farchi dun TikTok. Agus Scottish McCLUE. There we are. Good morning to everybody. So good to have you all with us. Fantastic. A dead finger. Your likes went up. I'm off to work. Have a great day, Cupra. You're such a lovely, lovely, kind person. The blood supply to the finger will return immediately. I've got 10,100 likes. Can I ask every single one of you on TikTok to follow me? Can I ask every single one of you to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe? YouTube is on the move, guys. Fantastic. It's lovely, lovely. I'm from West Bromwich. Right, Roy, we've got you from West Bromwich. So I'm coming down to West Bromwich and we're going to have an ham cob. We'll have an ham cob together for breakfast. Independence defeats divisions that already exist. Well, Indy Ref, yes, there'll be no divisions. The divisions have been set about by Westminster by frightening people. We need to stop listening to fear. We need to say, no fear. Remember, everybody used to say that all the time, say, would you like to do that? No fear. But it was actually fear because I went, no fear, you wouldn't get me in that. Oh, do you want to go on this? Do you want to go on this fair ride? No fear. You'll not get me in that because of fear. You see, there we are. Fantastic stuff. Yes, you're right, Streaky Bacon. You know, there will always be slavery because people need people to work. No danger, India Ref. That was the other one. No danger. Scottie, the telly's mints have put it off. Professor Numptyhead, I have told you time and time and time again, you would only put on a television if the Scottie McCLUE was not live. Do you see what I mean? And if Scottie McCLUE's not on the television or radio, why would you watch or why would you listen? Let's have it straight. So there we are. I'd vote for Ian Blackford as Prime Minister, says Roy. Yes, a very good choice, Roy. A very, very clever man. I'll tell you what else I'd do. If I was, I'd say to the Speaker of the House, excuse me, Mr. Speaker, can you ensure nobody leaves the House from whatever party and whatever persuasion when Mr. Blackford is speaking? Yes? So you have to say that. You say, can all members remain seated in the House? Ian Blackford. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You see what I mean? So we need that sort of thing. The nationalists are Ulsterizing this country. The country will be forever divided. Danny, you never, ever, ever need to have a divided Ireland. The 6 counties are only annexed. They are still 100% part of the island of Ireland. Ulster is 9 counties. Yes, so the Ulsterization gives you 9 counties have been annexed. If you go that way. Blackford speaks from the heart. He does indeed. Unlike a lot of MPs. Dinky Doo, Scottie, how's it going? Thank goodness you're on tonight. TV taking over tonight. Chris, tonight, Scottie McCLUE live. So there we are. Fantastic. I'll just get rid of Manky Jacket because he's a dirty, filthy, manky midden and he smells. There you go, Manky Jacket. Bye-bye. Lifetime ban for Manky Jacket. What an idiot. Right, guys, that's it. We're out of time. We have to go. Thank you so much to our beautiful TikTokers. This is Scottie McCLUE saying dinky doo to every single one of you. Have a gorgeous day. Chris Grant, thank you so much for your kindness and for your beautiful, beautiful gifts. Very, very, very much appreciated. What an absolute top man. Dinky doo, Scottie, how's it going? Thank you. And thank you for 30 mini speakers. Stick out your tongues and say ta-ta, ba-ba. Guys, that's our beautiful TikTokers have had to go. Now, we've got our beautiful YouTubers, our Facebookers, our Twitchers. Remember, you can go to Twitch. I'll just say very quickly, pop you up the caption so you can see it. Across the bottom of the screen, you'll see you can follow Scottie McCLUE on Twitter, at Scottie McCLUE, Twitch, Scottie_McCLUE, TikTok, at Scottie McCLUE, LinkedIn, at Scottie McCLUE. Have a gorgeous day. Dinky.